So far, we have discussed that the purpose of marriage and family is to raise a godly offspring for occupation in where? In heaven. Just trying to recap and find out if we are still together. But you agree with me that the devil is working so hard to thwart God's plan. And he'll ensure that this plan does not work. But good news is that there's no single day that darkness has won. In any battle we fight in life, where light and darkness are involved, truth and error are involved, right and wrong are involved, there's no single day darkness has won. No single day. And so what we see as ill manifestations in our families, in our marriages, to me, they are just the heat of the battle. Because the battle is raging so hard. What you see that discourages you is the heat of that battle. But there's no single day darkness will overcome. The devil has never changed his strategy since Eden. The strategy continues. And the strategy is clear. We discussed it yesterday. Weaken the foundation. Weaken the man. And deceive the woman that she can do without the man. Or she can still function effectively with a weak foundation. Many women are convinced they can do life without the man, or if he's there, she can still function effectively with a weak man. Let us do Genesis chapter 3, verse 5. Chapter 3 is about the fall of man. The discussion is between the serpent and Eve over whether or not to eat the fruit. Verse 5 says, the devil is responding. Let me pick it from verse 4. And the serpent said to the woman, you shall not surely die. For God does know that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. I hope you've listened to that carefully. He's telling Eve that the day you eat of it, your eyes shall be opened. Question, what is the devil trying to say? That she is what? Blind. So, she will be able to see things properly if she eats the fruit. But was Eve blind? No. So what the devil is saying is that when you eat of this fruit, you'll be enlightened. You'll know more. And then he says, you will be as gods. To me, there is a higher sphere. There is a higher position you can reach, but God is not denying you that position. Are you following me? If you eat it, your eyes will be open. It means there is something good that God is denying you to suppress you. And so he created first a sense of dissatisfaction to be able to pull her from her original position God had placed her and make her chase after vanity, neglecting her solemn responsibilities. You know, you can know when the audience is with you or not. You can know whether they're thinking you're speaking from space or not. And so the devil made Eve think that God is insecure. God is threatened by her. So that she should not eat that fruit. If she eats it, she'll be as gods. And her eyes will open. By rendering the foundations weak, by rendering our men useless, the woman is made to think she can rise to take up the position of a man, such that what a man can do, you hear that cliche? It's a cliche. A cliche is a statement that is not necessarily true. It wants to sound true, but it is not what? It's not true. And the devil is cunning. What I'll do is make sure I destroy the man completely. So that the woman can think that whatever the man used to do, I can equally do it. And I can do it what? Better. And let me ask, if you have a drunkard for a husband, who drinks the whole salad and doesn't know how kids go to school, what is eaten in this house, whether rent is paid, what is the woman supposed to do? And she has gone to school, but she'll be tempted to think, why should I have a fight with this man? The things he's supposed to do, I can do better. And haven't women done them better? Siongena mimi. Haven't women done them better? They have done them better. But I want to remind you, it's a deception. We have been riding on. A great deception. It's a deception. The devil will destabilize the man to give the woman a reason to take up his responsibilities. And we will justify why we are taking up those responsibilities. I mean, it makes sense. Why should my children go hungry and I can work? Doesn't it make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. There's justification for it. There is nothing wrong with a woman making her own money, with a woman rising, but to the point she has to forfeit her core solemn responsibilities, it raises an eyebrow. Nothing wrong. But to the point we have to neglect our responsibilities. Core. Underline the word what? Core. Responsibilities as a woman. Then there's a reason to raise an eyebrow. The angels, when I read the story of the fall from the book Precepts and Prophets, please be SOP readers. I'm reminding us, just love SOP. You'll learn a lot of things. Ellen White says this, Precepts and Prophets, page 53, paragraph 5. The angels had cautioned Eve. I'm reading slow so that we don't argue or have a debate after this, or I'll shoot track. The angels had done what? Cautioned Eve. Not Adam. Cautioned who? Not who? Not Adam. Had cautioned Eve to beware of separating herself from her husband while occupied in their daily labor in the garden. With him, she would be in less danger from temptation than if she were Hello? Hey, mtu ashaisoma hii kitu ama mumejaza tu? Wacha nirudie. The angels had cautioned Eve to beware. The Lord says, chunga, son. Beware of separating herself from who? Her husband, while occupied in their daily labor in the garden. Just put your finger there. Where was Adam living? In the garden of? Is anyone disputing? Where was Adam working? In the garden of? Essentially, a woman should be where her husband lives and does what? So when a man says, you go take care of our 3 chicken and 2 goats at home, I live in Nairobi and be coming to see. She was cautioned to beware of separating herself from her what? Where the husband not only lives, but also does what? Can I repeat it? No, we are fixing problems here. Where your husband lives and works, that is where you should also work. And what is the reason why it is given? That she is in less what? Danger. I'm not saying that if they are separate, I'm not saying that when you are together, there are no dangers than when you're separate. Have you had the discussion of what is the problem of relationships where a man lives in Taita, a woman lives in Mosoriot, and we have this debate of what is wrong in those relationships, or are they okay? All of them have dangers. But SOP is saying there is less danger where the two of you stay. Today I counsel couples that want to get into marriage, and I tell them, what plans do you have after your wedding? Are you intending to go separate ways? Or are you intending to stay together? Friends, let us insist on staying together. Else, what is a family? If daddy comes home once a month, where is your daddyhood now? Where is your daddyhood? And then he says, I work very far. I make sure before I sleep, I speak to all my children on Zoom. What are you doing? I call my wife in the morning, I call her in the evening. When I have to deal with marital issues, highest on the list is infidelity. And why? Part of the reason, the fact that people stay apart. Let no one cheat you that a man is a species that can stay alone for a week. Let no one cheat you. A week. Hakuna kitu kinategemea. Cannot. And then let's agree. Be coming over every weekend with dirty clothes, you go back with clean ones. He'll carry those clothes just for a month or two. Then he'll say, kazi imekuwa mingi. Then he says, let me come fortnight. After 2 weeks. Then a month. Before you know it, he's raising another family. Where? In Nairobi. And if you don't happen to find out when he's breathing, you will know when he's breathing. You will know when he's done. If you don't find out when he's breathing, you will know when he's on. Yes. In fact, you'll be shocked to find out he has children older than your firstborn. Who was cautioned? I'm speaking to women. Insist. Huko mahali unaenda hadi hata mimi ninaenda kufanya. There. There's this debate of who should sacrifice their work if both of us are employed. Women! I'm cautioning you. Where he's going? There. Good. Stay there. If we want to stay separate, then there's no point of having a family. There's no point. The fact that he has a mistress on the other side is evidence enough. He cannot stay alone. The fact that he has a mistress on the other side, that tells you he needs a family. He needs someone he can be close to, talk to every day. And who else better than him? So stop flattering yourself here that you're working, you have a big job. You're being chauffeured. The company has given you a car and a house. Fueling for you. Your husband is in Marsabit. Go stay in Marsabit. These questions of where will our children go to school? Homeschool them. Homeschool them. When who's going to heaven with a degree or a diploma? God is not interested in engineers and doctors. He's interested in godly people. So if there are no schools in Marsabit, go homeschool your child there. And when she left and met with the serpent, she ate. And the husband found out it's all destroyed. Ellen White says in page 56, paragraph 3, Adam mourned that he had permitted Eve to wander from his side. He regretted. Did I say that the buck stops with who? The man. You should stand firm and say, where are you going? Hata mimi nilienda shule. Lazima nipate kazi. Naenda kutafuta kazi. If a woman challenges you and there's nothing you can do about it, question your manship. Chances are she's found out you're a boy. You're not a man. There is no woman that can talk back to a man. And I'm not saying you become hostile. I'm not saying you become hostile. In my house, I live with my mother. She's helping us raise our children. Because all of us are people traveling. My husband and I. So there's no better person we could trust with our children than my mom. They are so used to their grandmother that when she says, come, they look at her and disappear. But me, I don't need to say come. I need to open my eyes wide open. And they know it means come. And we don't need to argue about it. We don't argue. We don't argue with my children. They know who has spoken. They know mom is wrong number. So they have respect for me as their what? I tell you, if a woman can challenge you as a man, you are a boy. You don't command respect. You should be the one permitting her to go or not go. You should not be telling you, me I've told you I'm going. Adam mourned that he permitted her to leave his side. He mourned. Felt if I was with this girl, we wouldn't have gotten into this trouble. Let me tell you, when you're leading in your family, we're not talking about dictatorship here. We're saying we can sit with family members and discuss. But even when you have all opinions from family members, the final decision rests with you. Because when God comes, Adam, where are you? It will be so sad when people ask you, Mokoro, hii ni nini umefanya? Gani sio mimi? Ni bibi yangu. It's my wife. Do you know that is what Adam responded? It's the woman you did with. See, that's a strong gene from your father. The woman you get. Still crying for the boy. I have a son, and that's why I have to speak about it. I have a son. And I don't want to raise a son that a woman will throw left, right, center, cannot decide on his own. The devil is so interested with our children as he makes us busy elsewhere. But before I get into that, there's a sad excerpt here. Very sad for us women. Very sad. Very sad. Patrick's and Prophets, chapter 3. Chapter 3. So we have Patrick's and Prophets, chapter 3. And reading page 59, paragraph 1. Page 59, paragraph 1. Sad statement. If it can change you tonight, the better. If you still insist, I doubt if I'll see you in heaven. Listen to this statement. Eve had been perfectly happy. Not just what? What kind of happiness? Eve had been perfectly happy by her husband's side in her Eden home. I'll continue. She had been perfectly happy by her husband's side as a what? As a wife in their Eden what? I'm repeating. Where your husband lives and work, that is where you should stay. It's the perfect place that will yield perfect happiness. This thing you're chasing out here, you're earning 200,000. You are happy, but you're not perfectly what? By her husband's side in their Eden home. And she said, but like restless modern Eve. Hey. Like what? Who are the modern Eve? I like when you talk to me. Who are the modern Eve? You know, I thought White would even have said, like the restless ancient Eve. Yeah, there's no difference between the ancient Eve and the what? The modern Eve. But like the restless modern Eves, she was flattered with the hope of entering a higher sphere than that which God had assigned her. Is that not what we are all chasing? Yeah. We are not satisfied with the space God has created for us. We think there's something bigger and better out there. And I don't blame us. Because now, what will I do if my husband has another woman raising other children that are not his? But again, I would say it is a deception. In attempting to rise above her original position, she fell far below it. And for sure, the results of our attempt to rise higher, we have fallen far below the original position. Lost our husband, we have lost our children, we have lost everything. Lost everything. A similar result will be reached by all who are unwilling to take up cheerfully their life duties in accordance with God's plan. In their efforts to reach positions for which He has not fitted them, many are leaving vacant the place where they might be a blessing. In their desire for a higher sphere, many have sacrificed true womanly dignity and nobility of character and have left undone the very work that heaven appointed them. It's a sad statement, is it? So sad. So sad. My husband has been working in Somali for the last 17 years. I had to pray thoroughly for God to end that job. Because I can't go to live in Somali, can I? I can only pray that endings. And I told God, would rather have no income than have my husband forever in where? Somali. So he came close. He's now in Nairobi. We are seeking God's face on who should move to the other side, on which side. But what I'm praying for is that we will stay in one what? One place. One place. These things you don't just accept and normalize. The fact that your husband does not have a job should be your prayer project. You don't just say, hey, I can also get a job. And then you get a job, you go work. Who do you live in the house? Your husband. Then you come back, daddy, and yet daddy, you couldn't even remove the beans from the freezer to defreeze. You know, you're slowly turning him into a housewife. And the day you will begin to argue, she will tell you, I cannot be going to work to fund our bills, and you'll be sitting here doing nothing. So respect. And women are good. When she realizes she's doing everything, even conjugal rights, she will deny you. She'll even move to another bedroom. Now do you sleep with a woman who doesn't, a man who does not? That the only job he does is that. Even the man is scared to ask. How do you touch a woman whose account is 3 million? Oh, Charuka, Kovenegas in the morning. Oh, how? 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 Hiyo maneno si ngumu kidogo. Yaani toke nizunguke nitengeneze pesa urudi niambie hakuna. Na vyombo pia huko osha watoto huja osha. Nyumba iko chafu. Nitoke nitengeneze pesa nikuje tena kufanya kazi kwa nyumba. Alafu niambie Telling you, my friends, don't be comfortable when your husband is jobless. Don't be comfortable. Go down on your knees, plead with God, agonize with the Lord. Give my husband something to do. Because that is his solemn responsibility to provide. But we have gotten comfortable. Say, Daddy, don't worry, I can foot the bills. I said the devil is so interested with our children as he makes us busy elsewhere chasing greed. Today he has weakened, destroyed the man. And he does it deliberately. It's a very deliberate plan. Destroy the man completely for the woman to get a reason to rise. And then what does he do? He empowers the what? The woman. So the agenda of women emancipation, girl child empowerment, is a great deception. Just opening our eyes. It's a great word. If it was not deception, then the man should have been empowered not on an equal measure, on a higher measure than the woman. So he ensures that he brings the boy down to the ground completely, cannot even lift his head. And then the woman has a reason to say, I can do it. What a man can do, I can do better. Better how? Because she's now empowered. Gone to school. Good job. Then nations have now introduced affirmative action. To make a man, for a boy to get a job, for a man to get a job, you know, it's so difficult compared to a girl getting a job. Very difficult. Do you think this is a plan of God?
No.
Society has made it difficult for a man to get a job. But it's so easy for a woman to get a job. Overnight, affirmative action. Your wife was earning 30,000. Overnight, twinkle of an eye. Don't know it's not twinkle of an eye. Just check. Affirmative action. She's earning 3 million. Not even 30 million. She's the CEO. Kenya Commercial Bank. Or CEO Safaricom. Affirmative action. 30 million. From 100,000. And you? Jobless. 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 Godless. Huh? Jobless and godless. Those two things are horrible. The woman is jobful, if there's any English like that, and godful. The man is jobless. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of what? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of what? So when a woman fears the Lord, she's what? And when a man does not fear the Lord, he's what? A fool. So you have a jobless fool that has to live with a wealthy, wise woman. I tell you, it's disaster. And daily, we continue to destroy the foundation. Daily. And we are comfortable. What a man can do, we can do that. What are the effects? Horrible. We have neglected our fearful, our solemn responsibilities. For us, fear that has brought us lower, much lower than the position God had assigned us. What was the purpose of marriage and family? Raising a godly people, offspring, for occupation in where? Now, when the man is godless, that's no job, cannot even provide, means he can also not protect. And the woman is busy out there chasing money. What time do you have raising godly children? Of course, there's someone who stays with them. Their father is there, but godless. The woman has God, but is out there. So who raises our children? Godless. Who's raising our children? No. Let me tell you, we can debate, we can discuss issues to do with homosexuality, even run on the streets and tell the US we are not accepting. But the reality is, it is with us. The reality is, it is with? Because the devil is not confined in America. It's not America bringing us LGBTQ agenda here. It is not America. It is who? And it is with us. And for a child that has not been properly raised into godliness, you will lose your child. And we have lost that. One day, move into any high school body. One day, I challenge you, move into any high school body. Just ask one question, everyone to write on the paper. What is your greatest challenge? A friend of mine did that. 90% they will worship homosexuality in our schools. So when the church doesn't even want to discuss it. That thing is so filthy to discuss in church. It is not in church. But our children are slowly being taken away into this house. A young man called me the other day and said, I watched you on YouTube discuss about sex. And I need help. I said, what kind of help? She says, I'm struggling with masturbation. I asked, how did you go into it? And she says, my sister introduced me. And I asked, is your sister a porn addict? She says, I don't know. She's a lesbian. So at what age were you introduced? At 14. How old are you now? I am 20. How old is your sister? 23. Do your parents know about it? No. She says, if I speak, she will kill me. So these are age mates, blood sisters. The question is, how do these kinds of things happen within the home when mommy and daddy are there? It means we have neglected our fearful, what calls them fearful responsibilities to chase after 400,000 that even if you are asked to save for how many years, cannot correct that vice in your child. It can't. A young man approaches me and says, Pastor, I want to talk to you. So we have an appointment. He said, I've called you here because I want to get married. I said, huh? So you want premarital counseling? He said, no. I'm 33. I want to marry, but I'm gay. What do I do? So how did you get into it? I was introduced when I was 10 years by my mother's brother, my uncle, in the house. I'm asking, how do these things happen under our nose? Here, in your house, here, in the house, here. You know what here is? Here. And you are there. It means what we call parenting is actually not what? We are busy fighting each other in the bedroom over how much do we have for this month? Having discussions of we need financial openness. We should have a joint account. Brother, who's going to make money? Who's remaining in the house? And then all of us bolt into the wall. And no one does anything called parenting. Did you know our children are growing by grace? And so we think parenting is taking them to Brighton, Nova, Pioneer, the best schools. That is what parenting is. Give them clothes, good food, a good bed. You are not yet a parent. Parenting is you have an individual built a character worth of heaven. That is parenting. It is sad. I'm doing my master's on public health, and my population involves the key populations, the homosexuals. And the things I'm discovering are strange. They make your hair stand. And I'm asking, when the devil is driving this agenda so hard like this, the church has nothing to counter it. The best the school can do is expel your child. The best the church can do is keep quiet. I mean, this is something we can't talk about. How now? How? A woman calls me, say, I must see you. And I'm telling her, I'm on a prayer mission. So I don't care where you are, I can come. And you know where she is? She's in Kiss. And I'm telling her, I'm first going to Seme, and then I'm coming back going to Karachuonyo. And she asked me, between Seme and Karachuonyo, which one is close to Kisi? I say Karachuonyo. Fine, I'm coming. I said, by the time I get to see you, it will be late because there are so many homes I'm visiting. And then she says, I don't mind, I will wait until you finish. So we meet in Kidube. She's brought her daughter. She said, Pastor, this girl has been suspended from school. She's in Form 4. She's a lesbian, is what the school says. Last where is the father? The father has said, I don't want to see what to do with your daughter. She can't even start the conversation. She starts, and you know, she has come with her 2 other children. One is a 4-year-old, I think, if I remember. The other one is 4 months old. Driving in the car. It's already 9 p.m. in the night when we are meeting. 9 p.m. We are meeting at 9 p.m. And they must travel back to Kiss. I'm coming back to Kiss. And many of us, modern youth, we have left our space to chase after earthly things. And we are losing our children. Both us and our children will not see eternity. We have lost it. We have lost it. Look at how our children are being recruited into devil worship. Today, teachers are in devil worship. Teachers, fellow students. A child does not even know who's seated next to her. Just a drink, a pen, a book, and they're in. And you stay with a child 2 years in your house. You have no idea of being recruited. The 3rd year, demons begin to manifest. You know, what is wrong with my child? Then you begin to treat her for mental illness. Put her on drugs for even a year. Until the doctor tells you seek spiritual advice. That is when now you have to ask for leave to find remedy for your child. I'm asking, is it worth it, my women? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? It's not. It's not. So we go back to the original plan of God. That we must strengthen the foundation to be able to hold strongly the house. But the house cannot pretend that she can move without the foundation. You cannot pretend. Because the ultimate product is that we lose ourselves. We lose our children, we lose ourselves, we lose eternity. We lose it. We lose it. Ritualistic activities. There are men out here making wealth through our children. They have gone, consulted with witchcraft, and they have to sustain that wealth using ritual activities. And some of those ritual activities involve sleeping with young children. Virgins. So they target our high school children. The young girls in the universities. It's a ritual this man must sustain. But has to do it every week. I tell you, if your child is not raised up in the Lord, you will definitely lose your child. Say, train up a child. Training, if you knew the meaning of training, do we have teachers here? Do we have teachers? Do you know what it means to train? Do you know? If you knew what training is, I tell you, you cannot even leave your house if you were to train your child. Training is not family worship in the night where you sing one song and read a verse, then you think you have trained. Training is not even adventure and perfect. Allow me end it at that and say, we have decisions to make. And they're tough decisions. They're tough decisions. They're not easy. They're what? Tough. But I'm glad the minute you stand with God, the Lord lifts you. If you purpose that you want to stand with God, He will lift you. He will. Tell God, God, I want to stand with you. I have resolved, I'm raising my children. Now give my husband job to do, and a good one. We are not sleeping. We want good money. Hey. So to give your husband, you pray for your husband day and night. The thought that one income cannot sustain us is a deception. Because I've looked carefully, what you're calling one income cannot sustain, you realize people want a second income for extravagance. It's for extravagance. It's just for extravagance. What do I need a 5-bedroom for? What do I need a 5-bedroom for? And I know my children are soon leaving us. Or even not children leaving us. Why do I need a 5-bedroom? And there is a new heaven and a new earth. Did you hear what I said? Yes. I have a dream house. Don't think I don't have a dream house. When you find me in my small house, don't judge me. I have a dream house. But I will build it in the new earth. I cannot waste resources on this earth where I know so well. The Bible says God is coming to destroy it with what? Fire. I just need a bare minimum that sustains me on planet Earth as we work so hard to go to where? And then we go there, enjoy life, To heaven is a retreat of 1,000 years. Just a retreat. And then we'll come back here. Then when we come back here, everyone will build their what? House. And then I'll build my dream house. Never to be destroyed. Living in it. Happen. Why do a 5-bedroom and perish? Why can't you give us money for 1 million Bibles? What? Why give us money? Give us money. I pray we'll all wear a kingdom mentality and lift our thoughts from this earth into the things that are eternal. It will inform all decisions you have to make. The question is, am I raising a godly people? May the Lord bless us.